There is a place where no one is seen as a stranger, where no one is ever faced with danger, a place that is gentle, kind and light, and nothing would ever trigger a fight, a place that is boundless and wide, where we walk with angels side by side, a place with smiles and happy tears, where our hearts are open and there are no more fears, a place where love is seen on every face and arms are open wide to embrace, a place where everyone measures the same, where you are true though, and yet no one knows your name, a place where mysteries are explored, where truth is accepted and never ignored, a place where those of old age are wide-eyed and still learning, when time seems to rewind, and to youth we are returning.
Well, we are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And my son in the gospel is right here with us.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. We were just talking about the weather. We were chatting about the weather. I don't know where you are, but where we are, it's kind of been rainy and muggy and all of those things. But we're glad for the rain because we needed some. Really needed it.
Yes,
And
we did.
so now we just do what we got to do. Is that right? We just do what we got to do. Let me see
Do what
who's
we got to do.
Yeah, do what we have to do. Let's see. Let me turn your volume up just a little bit so I can hear you, Pastor Norma, because I had to
Okay.
turn it down for Dad. And that's Dad going out the room right there. Yes, he's going to always find something to do at the last minute. Anyway, for you guys who don't know who this young man is, this is Pastor Norman Armstrong, and I didn't even put up there who we are. So how are you going to know who he is? Yeah. So, yeah, and we are the Sawyers, of course, if you've never been here with us. And we are Pastor Cornerstone Life Center, which is now a virtual church. Pastor Norman is in Moncks Corner, South Carolina. His church is virtual and in person. So he's doing good work down there, doing a good work.
Thank you.
And we're so proud of him. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. My sister's back from her trip. She went on a beach trip with the rest of my family.
Oh.
Yeah, they all went out to they do it every year. They go every year. And we just never haven't had an opportunity to go with them. But at some point, I'm hoping we'll be able to go with them. And they go, just stay maybe 3 days or something like that and come back. It's just a family trip. And so they're back from their trip. And she retired. That was her last day last week when she took off for the beach. That was her last day.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Now she's not sure what she's going to do. There's my friend Dee Dee. There's Dee Dee and George. And let's see, my thing here is stuck on me. John Greason's in the house. Hey, John Greason. And then there is Phyllis and Edward. How y'all doing? Sandra's here. Yeah, thank you, Sissy. Says she can hear and see us. I can't see a thing hardly. I had my eyes dilated early today, but it just lingers on me. So I can see, but it's like a whole lot of light. And if I put my shades on, I can't see the screen. So, hey, Jill, she's been globetrotting. I don't know where she went last time, but I'm glad you're back, Jill. Are you back? You might not be back yet, huh? That's the good thing about doing live streams. You can be anywhere and still see us, and we can still talk. Isn't that right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So Jill's always globetrotting. Thank you, Phil. She said they're doing good. You want to say, hey, Pastor?
Hello out there, everybody from Columbus and all the way down to Moses and back to the eternal essence of the Hebrews.
I don't know what all that is, but okay.
I thought I just throw a long thank you for tuning in with us to you, on letting you know you've been tuning us ever since Moses crossed the Red Sea.
Yes, and Juju's driving back from Virginia. I knew she was globetrotting somewhere.
She going
What
back?
part of Virginia? What part of Virginia she driving
Back
from?
from.
'Cause I was just in Vienna, Virginia last month.
Yeah, I think her daughter's in Virginia. Is she not, Jill? I think she is. One of her daughters is in Virginia. But yeah,
I want everybody to know out there, your mom is my mama.
who?
Everybody that
Whose
looking
mama is your mama?
them on the site right here on the class. All y'all mamas is my
Well,
mama.
Pastor Norm was giving me a good testimony about his mom. Tell
me something about
your
my mom.
Oh, I was sharing with Mom that my mother
You're my mama.
is doing a whole lot better. She has no pain. She gave her
What?
testimony. She gave her testimony on Sunday.
Oh, get out of here.
In our Sunday afternoon service. I mean, totally different person, very mobile. She started back on the treadmill yesterday, and
What?
she said she did a mile on the treadmill today.
Uh-oh.
So he's doing a whole lot better.
Boy, you gonna make me have a baby here in a minute.
That's so good. That is so good.
He's doing real good.
Yeah.
Doing real good.
That's wonderful. Oh my God.
Oh my land above and beneath and around the corner.
I'm so glad. Oh, we're glad. I know you're glad, Pastor Norman.
I've been wondering about what happened to that girl after all that stuff.
During the time that she was in bed, I had to go. Like I said, she was having renovations being done to her house. Of course, I had to be there to move stuff, and so because she couldn't really, I mean, she could barely even really walk.
Yeah.
And stuff. And so, like I said, you know, that Sunday before you ministered to her Tuesday, I had put my shamir on her, and she started moving, lifting her legs and stuff like that. And so come Tuesday, after you had ministered as well, it was completely gone.
I need to take what she took.
Wonderful.
You got a hold of something I need to take too.
I know. Isn't that something? You can be used of God,
Well, I'm gonna tell you,
and it'll bypass you and go to the other person.
Ain't that something? Boy, that moonshine real thing.
It'll happen. Though.
We're gonna have to keep on making that kind of moonshine, boy. It make you jump up and down.
That's good. That's awesome how you can be the one who, the vessel that the Spirit of God flows through to someone else for their healing, but it can bypass you and you can still need your healing.
I'll take a pound of that.
Now, see, it's funny that you said that. I wasn't thinking so much about healing, but today I thought about how you can minister to people, and of course we pretty much operate a lot in the prophetic sphere, you know, with the having the gifts of the revelatory gifts that are dominant, and you can share words to different people, tell them what the Lord about to do, and the Lord to do it, and that's been happening here a lot. But today I was just like, you know, I was in that place of meditation, just thinking about some things, and I was like, you know, okay, God, when my ship gonna come in?
Yeah. I think the first person I heard say that, a first minister I heard say mention that was Dave Roberson. Said he was sick with the flu or something, and the Lord spoke to him, and he touched another lady or something, and she got healed, and it just completely bypassed him.
Yeah, he said he had some kind of old flu bug, you know, and said he felt like he was a duck out of water. And he said he prayed. They took a finger and stuck it in the lady's ear and pulled it out, and she was deaf.
And she got healed.
And she got healed, and Roberson was standing there leaning on her shoulder, rocking, because he about to fall over. He said, "God, I deserve a raise today." He said, "I don't. This lady done got here. You bypassed me and healed her, and I still got the flu, and I feel like a broke neck chicken in the meat house."
That just goes to show you that the power or the miracle doesn't come from us; it just comes through us.
Through us, exactly.
I started telling her call her one time and see if I can get one of them pound cakes, one of them lemon pound cakes from them.
All you have to do is say the word. That's all you
But
have
I
to
don't
do.
say it.
I tell her,
You have
hey.
to say it again.
I just think ahead.
And what's good, the guy just finished the house, the kitchen and everything, so she could get back in her kitchen and stuff like that. So he just finished up yesterday, so everything is put back into place. So now she can start her cooking again and start her sewing again.
Oh, hey, can you call her and tell her I'll take a half of one of them lemon pound cakes, right?
I'll definitely let her know.
Hey, tell her to beam it on over here.
Hey, Lindsay Kelly, I see you in here, girl. I see you.
I wonder.
I was thinking about something today. You guys, are we gonna talk about something else besides lemon pound cake?
No, just stay on the pound cake. I can take. I take the pound cake, sit it in my lap right now. I tell her cake is done baked.
I feel like I'm squinting. I might be squinting. I'm squinting because I can't tolerate the light, guys. I bet my eyes got dilated earlier.
Yeah, that's what happens when she look at me. It blinds her, boy. It tears her up. She can't take it.
I got a question. I got a question I wanted to throw out at the two of you guys specifically, and then
I can't answer. I'm married.
Yes, you can.
I can't answer.
Yes, you can.
I'm a married man.
You know how the
I am too.
there's a scripture where Jesus said that men love darkness rather than light, and I remembered watching a video today about a near-death experience. How we often say that people need to go into the light when they cross over, whatever. So I began to wonder, well, what does it mean when we say light? Because it's not just talk about brightness. But what does it mean to be in the light? And we were told in the scriptures also that we're children of the light. So what do you think? What do you think about that? What is the light signify? It isn't just bright.
It's got an esoteric meaning to it. I know it does. It's got a smell to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're aware of what it is, you know what it is, but it's hard to use words to describe.
Okay, here's something for you.
Yeah,
I got something for you.
We because of course with our conditioning mind and stuff, we think about the brightness, we think about stuff being exposed, we think about all those different things and so forth. But to me, it's a place of knowing and awareness and transparency. I mean,
because we're told to walk in the light. We're children of the light, and so I mean, there are so many verses in scripture.
Now, religion would tell you walk in the word. The light of God is His word, but that's not what we're talking about.
Very superficial.
That ain't juicy enough.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know why. I just wanted to get a concept.
We are the light.
What that actually means when we say going.
Let me share something with you. We found out. My research found out that before we actually transform spirit into matter, in the womb, we did this through our parents. And our parents were to carry us inside to form the body, are ministers of light, meaning life.
They were carriers.
They are light carriers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So we came out. We were the fear of admitting this caused us to walk like we were not divine creatures, or creatures or beings. Infinite beings is nowhere acceptable in this dimension unless something has happened to you directly from the creating self, the Christ self, that make you walk past the prison of the belief that you existed before you came into your mother's womb. Now we don't this is something that, and then we heard, we go to school, and in school they teach us how to be nothing but a thought and a memory and recall. They teach us to deny and ignore ever existing beyond birth.
Right.
That's conditioned us, everybody in the universe, to not to accept anything. It flees from us. It's fearful to say, like they said, that guy in DC that was using a gun, he had to shot the building and shot at the president in that meeting and that gathering eating. He had some problem believing that he was more than just a man. He believed he was Jesus.
But listen,
they put him in jail for that.
What God does it do?
Oh no, the one that thought he was Jesus,
they killed him.
Yeah, they did.
Killed him.
Yeah.
But what good did it do for him to stand outside and shoot the building? That don't make no sense.
And everybody knew who he was.
But see, the thing is, they had trouble with him several times before.
That's what I'm talking about.
So to me, if I speak from the governmental perspective or law enforcement, they dropped the ball. They already knew that the guy had a mental problem and stuff, and they didn't do what they were supposed to do to make sure that he was confined and so forth and so on. So that, to me, that's their error.
It was, yes. But what was your point, though, for bringing it up?
What'd you say?
What was your point for bringing them up?
The point we're bringing them up is that the conditioned self of the soul, not the spirit now, has been made to believe that if anybody say they are one with the Christ self, they are violating a law and a rule of sanity, which makes them insanity. They can't believe. We all came into this condition believing we were only just flesh and bone and blood and sinews and tendons and chitlins.
And a lot of us,
but
a lot of us think we're only our minds.
Yeah.
But using that gentleman who professed to be Christ, I mean, he was not walking in a place, or we say walking in the light or walking in true enlightenment,
in awareness,
because he by what he did not exemplify the character of God or the character of Christ. So
right, and
I would say that was a distorted view.
Yeah. So even our belief that when we say, I've heard people say, I am God. Of course, a lot of us who listen to us here say, I am God. And that gives you a scratchy feeling, because if it doesn't come from the right source, it is simply the mental, it is the egoic mind trying to lift itself up by its own bootstraps. So so when we hear a person saying, I am Jesus, it doesn't necessarily mean that person is enlightened or has awakened to what the Christ is. It just simply means that person has now decided in its ego mind, could be, that he's just exalting himself.
The new birth experience, the baptism of the Holy Spirit, the born again experience in a short, brief synopsis is called an interfacing with God. To the degree that you find out that everybody in these earth suits called physical bodies are eternal beings, and it's been blocked out. That revelation of being an eternal essence, that's why they got it printed in the book that eternal life is a gift. It's not a gift. It was printed like that. It's not a gift. It is the beginning of a person breaking loose from the fear of admitting by revelation that they are an eternal being, just like Jesus is and was. That's not saying that through the ego you are God in the sense of egotistically saying, I'm gonna go around the world and tell everybody I'm Jesus and I'm gonna
Well,
walk with this.
that was my point.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a mental disturbance that makes a person say.
That's crazy.
But see, your key word was reveal, revelation.
Mhm.
That was the key. So you have to have a revelational knowledge of your true self.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
in an esoteric truth meaning exactly what it said in the Bible. Jesus said, get your ass out the ditch.
Yeah, and well, and then too, it could be, if you go back, it could be that this young man, and I don't know the history of him, but it could be that this young man actually had some kind of glimpse or
Yeah.
mystical experience and didn't have anyone to mentor him.
Exactly.
To really, clarify how that is. And so then he got off on a deep end. So anyway, you were using him to say
that he was an example of misplaced identity, even on a religious side of the mind, the left reasoning brain. He was a good example of how you can misplace your true self and use it as in a wrong way.
Well, you use him, but on a greater scale, when we hear about the holy wars and so forth, that's again misplaced identity. And so even as we're hearing more, and I'm gonna say the word, but I'm gonna say it. This big thing now that's going on about Christian nationalism.
Yeah.
And see, that's a misplaced ideology and identity.
Yes,
because one of the things that they're using Christ as the person or their guru, which they show no characteristics, nor their language is like Christ, because again, it's expressed that he is love. And he even stated, is by the love we show one another, then the world should know that we are his disciples or his imitators. Because I found out the word, also means to imitate. So by you coming against another race, another ethnic group, you are not displaying the essence nor the nature or the character of God, which tells me you're not walking in the light.
And that's why I was questioning, what is the light? Because
I just looked it up.
So when we talk about the light, of course our mind goes to the brightness and all of this stuff, but like you said, that person that's doing those things is far from the light. They're walking in darkness, in the sense that they have no recognition of who they are or the other person that they're bringing harm to. No recognition or realization of who they are or the other person is as a Christ being. And so that to me is when a person, that's the opposite of what light and darkness is. I give you an example of something too. Just this week, I listened to some of the prisoners or journalists who were taken as a prisoner, and one was an Australian, and the other, I can't remember if he was French or what, was taken prisoner by Israelis, and they were prisoners. And these men were tortured. Some of the women were tortured. They were tortured by Israeli soldiers, and it was so bad that one man said the only way he kept his sanity after all that they did to him was that he remembered that they treated other people worse than they did him. That's how bad it was. I wouldn't even go into how many things happened to this man. But these are Israeli soldiers. Now, the church, the evangelical fundamental church, supports and encourages to actually put Israel on a pedestal, and that any president or anybody else who is for Israel should be sent of God. This is their belief, right? And that everybody ought to be supporting whoever's going favoring Israel. And so now here we are. We're saying that they're saying that Israel is God's chosen people.
Okay.
But this cannot be God's chosen people.
Oh, look out! You're saying something.
That are torturing and killing, and they're doing it to people who came from Gaza. Gaza is, and they're Palestinians. Gaza is a 25-mile stretch that Israel is mad about not having.
Yeah.
Well, and you do know that there's and that's how I was able to tell some individuals before that the strike had happened in Gaza that what was going to happen, because there's biblical prophecy that pointed to the event that actually happened years ago. And so but see, one of the things that Paul shared, and it's mentioned in several places in scripture, and we know again, God's people is no longer those that are either Jew or Gentile, male or female, free or bond. So again, they have to understand that word Israel that's being used is not just Israel in the sense of in the natural realm or a physical nation or whatever. It is considered the people of God, just like when the scriptures talks about we was experience a new Jerusalem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's not talking about that actual city or whatever. It's just words that's used, but it has to do with the meaning of those words.
Now you remember this scripture, I know you do, in Romans, where it says in Romans 2, where it says in the 28th verse, for he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So that most people are saying this is God's favorite people or favorite nation, that's not who they are.
Nope.
So we're seeing a mischaracterization of Christ, a mischaracterization of God's traits and nature coming through a nation that everybody else is saying this is of God, and it is of God. And not only that, the church has chosen to support presidents just because those presidents favored Israel. So they're actually enabling all of this suffering. The church is helping them to do devastating things to other people. And this is, now I'm kind of on the political stand when I do this, but
I was giving big reference.
Our current president is doing what he's doing because he's been friends with Netanyahu. His daddy was friends with Netanyahu.
That's right.
Netanyahu has spent time in his house, and our president has spent time spending the night in the other person's house. This is before he was president. This is why when he was not president after his first term, Netanyahu spent time with him at Mar-a-Lago before he ever got back in for the second term. So this is all, I'm going to help my friend. It's about, I'm going to help my friend. This is not about God. This is not about what God wants. This is not about what God has ordained. This is about people who want power. So now I'm going to get off of that. But so
you got to let me chime in on that now.
Well, go ahead and chime on in.
Well, no, it goes back to the word that has been frequently used throughout the whole time he's been in office for the second time as well. He's a loyalist, and that's what it's all about. I'm going to be loyal to my friend. I'm going to be loyal to anyone that is in agreement with me.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And so anyone, and that even came up today, anyone that disagree, and that's the strangest thing now, if you disagree on some minute things, you become on his hit list immediately.
Yes.
And so that's what that's all about.
Yes, and not only that, the young man who did shoot and they killed, he was from Haiti, was he not? I think they said he was from Haiti. And so now they're declaring that everybody from Haiti is something wrong with them. So they labeled a whole nation of people of a one man's act.
Of one, and see, and that's the thing that gets me because, and yeah, we may be crossing some lines here, but
Yeah, I know we are. I know we
a
are.
lot of this, and I just have to say it has to do with white supremacy,
It does. It does.
and that's the thing because everyone else that, like you said, is one guy. Now you want to classify the whole Haiti. Something wrong with the people. The other group of people in Minnesota, I'm trying to remember what their nationality was, but one of the young ladies is, in a political office.
I know you're talking about.
They come from a trashy nation.
Yeah.
And then now all of them are certain, and so that's what they've been doing. But wait a minute, your own kind been doing some crazy stuff, and we see most of your own kind trying to assassinate, shooting, doing all these different things, and you ain't classified nothing concerning them.
So what that goes back to my question: light and darkness. What is light? Because what we're seeing is a battle between light and darkness in our own nation. We're seeing.
I can share what I just pulled up. I put it in. It said, "In the Bible, walking in the light is a metaphor for living a life aligned with God, truth, holiness, and love. It means bringing your actions, thoughts, and struggles into the open before God, allowing His Word to guide you, and continue relying on Jesus for forgiveness and cleansing."
That's good.
So that's why the word we use the two words quite often: awakening and enlighten. And so even in the script said, "The inches of His word bringeth forth light and bring understanding unto the simple." So it goes back to revealing. And so when we talk about walking in the light, we're walking in alignment with our true identity, our oneness with God. So that's what it means.
Not shutting off our hearts. And I grieve at, and I know my husband does more than I do, I grieve at the sight and the words I hear where people have shut off their hearts and they're allowing things to be done and that are harming other people. And because they've shut their hearts off and all they're concerned with is winning and power.
Exactly. And it hurts because when you, and I know, of course, when you're a type of person, and we grew up there, we see no colors, we love everyone, this and that. And then again, it's by the love we show that we win people. You see what I'm saying? You don't win people by downgrading them, and I mean, just trying to destroy their character, trying to destroy their race. I mean, you don't win people over like that.
So to walk in the light, read what you read before. To walk in the light means what you read.
It's used. Right? It's a metaphor for living a life aligned with God's truth, holiness, and love.
Yes. And the difficult part for me has been to remain with the intent, to stand with the intent that I choose to see Christ in every being, even those beings that just are not exhibiting that alignment at all. And that's where that's the hardest part, because that it's easy to get angry with them. Easy to get angry with them. It's easy to begin pointing the finger at them and saying that they're all bad, when I know that it's simply because they've shut their heart off.
Exactly.
Their heart chakra is closed, absolutely closed, and then they act out of whatever else is left.
Pretty much, with them, the evangelicals and Christian nationalists. They're what we would consider to be Pharisaic, like in the Bible. They're following the behavior and the belief system of the Pharisees.
And it's really kind of strange to me, and I shared it with him, it's strange to me that we've heard all about our lives in church about how that the Antichrist was going to come and he's going to set up a new world order.
Mhm.
Well, guess what? With what our current administration is doing, it's causing a new world order to come into effect.
Mhm.
And the church is helping him to do it.
Exactly. And see, that's why I try to get people to understand, especially from what is going on now.
Mhm.
There is no true separation from church and state. There's no true separation.
There is
It,
not.
it is because most of the political ideologies and the laws and things that's being forced come from a religious belief.
Yes, they do. They do. I'll give you an example. I told Babe this today. Oliver, how are you? I know you're on here. I see you. I'm going to show your comment in just a second. We're going to talk to you. But yeah, we had the opportunity to speak to someone today. This particular person is in a relationship, a marriage relationship, a Christian person. And this young, I won't say who it is because they might be watching. But anyway, they can't be in a relationship because their partner doesn't want to go to church any longer. Now,
Wow.
you would dissolve a relationship simply because that person doesn't want to go to church.
Who was it in the Bible that married a prostitute?
Oh,
you're talking about Hosea?
Hosea, yeah.
He married a prostitute, and nowadays they saying, "Be not unequally yoked."
God told him to marry
And
one.
God told him to marry an unequally yoked.
Yeah. Now I want to mention what Oliver says. He says you aren't crossing the line. You are dissolving an illusionary line that we have placed between us to separate us from the oneness that we share. Yes, Oliver, exactly.
If we, I mean, no play now, for real.
No play.
No play. Stop playing hopscotch and spin the bottle. When we spin the bottle, when we're young, we spin the bottle, wherever that Coca-Cola bottle
you had to kiss
open
them, no matter what they look
you
like.
had to kiss them. And so
That's right.
my aunt and my cousin, they was at the time they the old folks. So they got on the step and sit down with everybody else and played spin the bottle with us.
With the kids.
With the kids, with us. And the bottle landed on my great aunt. I said,
Tell what you need to tell us. You got off on your story.
Hey, when one really get past the fear of admitting, like a lady said to me in the doctor's office, that our doctor, they said, I kind of can wrap this around my brain. It's kind of hard to wrap it around my brain, what you just said about same juice, but different cups, And it is a fear, just like it is in a lot of the Republicans and Democrats. It is a fear to admit the truth, that in order for you to really walk the walk and talk the talk, you got to change the way you think, or your mind thinks about the way you look at people from the heart of love.
Yeah.
The more you walk around and the more you live into this dimension, the more the strength of being individuality is increased in awareness. We are more aware of being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9 to 10 individuals than we are being one of the same essence.
Now, you ignited something in me when you just said what you said. And oh my God, Dad, you hit something. Now, they want to use Jesus as the example. Through all we know and what is written concerning the ministry of Jesus, the gifts, the abilities, the different manifestations, the people that was healed, the crowds of people that follow, whatever, he never sought power.
That's right.
He never used his abilities to get power. Never. And Dad just said it's all about when and that's going on. They're looking for power. They're trying to be above someone, and he never ever tried to seek for power.
And it's unfortunate that some of the Christian, I don't want to just say Christian, some of the religious beliefs that we've adopted or have taken as our foundation have become the tools that divide us. They become the tools that divide us. And now some of those that are Christian, not all, are now seeing themselves as better than those that are not.
Let me share something with you. In this lifetime, I found out for real that there was a slave owner. He had slaves working, men as studs. One of them got a hold of his wife as part of the service as a butler in the house, and had sexual relationship with his wife and got pregnant by a slave. But the slave master did not disown his wife or the baby that was born that looked like a black woman. Now he had her on a train, and that was his daughter, and he owned her up highly, greatly respect. When the engineer or conductor came around and said this black girl was in the wrong section of the train, she had to be moved back to the class where slaves and where low class people could only ride in the back of the bus, you might say. He told them, he said, I beg your pardon, this is my daughter. Now I feel like I want to cut a step right now. I'm telling you,
but that's actually in history that is not uncommon.
You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Multiple stories of that. Yeah.
And he owned her. Let me tell you something. Some people used to tell us in the old religious church way, God don't dwell in no unclean temple. I said, you better go dig you a ditch and pull the dirt over you. You go find a duck with a square butt and kiss him in it, because you are one of the prime examples of Jesus saying, you are mine. I don't care what color your suit is. I don't care whether you believe in what I am or who I am and where I came from. I found out that Jesus left the Ethiopia's country and went to another city. And actually, I didn't know this till now, and practically identify yourself with the Ethiopian and another country to show that us, and by example, color of skin and a building you live in, wearing a white suit don't make you holy.
And sure enough don't.
Because in the eternal self, we are we are bound and begin to loose ourselves. Loose it.
Now, you were touching on what John Greason just said.
Yeah.
He said God brought Jesus to a nation of Jews, which were considered the worst of nations, to show that God has no favoritism of nations.
The worst.
And they weren't even just the worst of nations. In the book of Deuteronomy, it says that they was the smallest nation.
Smallest, yeah.
They was the most insignificant nation, and so forth. So that's, again, that shows the grace and the love of God.
Yeah.
And so again, it wasn't just to have the total focus on them only.
Right.
That was just the nation that he began.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Once again, himself.
You said that. So this is why on Sunday I had them answer certain questions, and I asked one question. This was true or false questions. You may be been there with, I don't know if you were, Pastor Norman, when you were doing this. But I asked this one question to answer, for them to answer true or false. is God on my side?
It's on everybody's side.
So when we say God is on our side, we're thinking, okay, this just us.
That's us,
It's
exactly.
still a us and them mentality. So it is not true that God is on our side. Because like you said, God is on everybody's side, so there's no side for God to choose.
And for you to say God on your side, you are now walking in what we call self-righteousness.
Thank you very much. Because that the favoritism, like what John Greason is talking about, is there God has no respecter of persons, meaning there is no person that God looks at more favorably than he does the other.
And you just made me think about the confrontation between Peter and Paul.
Okay.
When Peter had an issue with, different Gentiles and stuff like that, and Paul had to confront him and straighten him out.
And you remember he had a vision.
Of clean animals and animals that was considered unclean.
He said, "Don't call it unclean when I've made clean. Don't do it."
That's right. So Paul had to straight, and that's why oftentimes we hear that Peter was more of the apostle for the Jews, and then of course the Catholic Church used him as the first quote unquote pope, and then with Paul he was considered the apostle to the Gentiles.
I was in the post office today, and a person was standing behind me. First person I was talking to was a lady, and when I turned around, I was going to let him get it in front of me, but I didn't realize that what behind me was a man. And I said, "Honey, come on." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." I called him honey, and and he come on, and I got to talking to him, and I said, "You know what? I'm going to tell you, I made him turn blue. I did." I said, "Do you know me and you got the same mama?"
Oh, Lord.
You done messed him up.
I said, "We might be brothers." I said, "My mama and your mama is the same mama." He said, "That's all right." But when I said it, he walked away from me and laughed and made a joke out of it, but he turned blue. I could see the inside of him that was like a light, a dimmer switch.
So now
went off, and he turned the light turned down instead of brightness of expression. It's an expression to say, by metaphor, we are the light of the world. That means we are the same light we are the essence.
The expression of God.
Expression of God.
So now, if I'm looking through the lens of my Christian beliefs, and all I see when I look through that lens is a measuring stick of whether a person's in Christ or out of Christ, because I'm looking through the lens of my religious belief. I'm determining when I look at one based on their behavior, based on the way they look, based on the way they talk, what they say. My mind has summed them up as to whether they're in Christ, accepted by God, or not in Christ, not accepted by God. Looking through that Christian lens. And so now I'm beginning to see that the divisiveness that we have happening in our world is coming through from the lens that we're looking through, the conditioned lens that we're looking through. It could be the lens. Some of us were religiously entrenched, and now we've got that lens, and that's all we see. And we determine everything based on, is this of God? Is that of God? Is this of God? Is that of the devil? And then you're not seeing clearly because you're still seeing duality. Your eye's not single. So to have a single, he said, if your eye is single, your body is full of light. So again, my question, what does that mean to be full of light?
Full of him.
Full of the ability to see,
fully aware of your true identity.
And fully free from the lens of conditioning, the veil. Is it free from that?
And I want to name those lens religious legalism.
That's true.
And the reason why I said that, because as we listen to even what they say a lot, I always ask myself the question, why they don't bring the people to speak or to the table that know the word, that know the real. You got people up there that ain't even no theologian. You got political leaders up there trying to preach, and I'm like, and they have no idea. They all in error. I mean, straight up error, not even sound doctrine at all. And so I'm like, why you don't call the real people? Okay. So, but the reason why I said that is because they seem to forget, when it comes to the Bible, you have the Old Testament and then you have the New Testament. All right. And a lot of their ideology is coming from the Old Testament. All right. Where that's where Christianity is known as a bloody religion.
Yes,
because that's where we hear about so much about the wrath of God, killing these people, trying to destroy these people, this and that and that, and so forth. But when we get into, again, the New Testament, and the one of the events that comes to my mind is the woman that was caught in adultery, and how the Pharisees tried to trip Jesus up. Now, the one that y'all want to model y'all lives after now, tried to trip Jesus up and say, now, according to the laws of Moses, she's supposed to be stoned. All right. And so, of course, we know the whole story. Jesus said nothing at first, and then he turns around and said, "Ye without sin, cast the first stone." And that's why and I'm going to say all of our political leaders that's coming up with all this nonsense, tell me which one of you ain't never committed sin.
Thank you.
All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, if you want to use religious ideology. And so you're speaking from a place of darkness. You're speaking from a place of separation. You want to be separated. You want to be elevated higher than someone else. So you be egotistical and not be Christ-like.
Right. So
let me tell you a story that happened to me. I went to Bojangles yesterday. I went out to do something, and I decided to stop and get her a ham biscuit or something, something to eat. And it was a bunch of old guys that used to come.
They gather.
They got a gathering time at Bojangles, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or they just old boys, retired, drive tractor trailers, and they got all kinds of odd things they do. They old. Oh, some of them older than the dirt that Moses stood on across the Red Sea, And so one of the guys came in. If Grant didn't run around Richmond and John Wills Booth didn't shoot Abraham Lincoln.
You totally lost me.
But let me tell you now. So here I am. I'm in Bojangles, and this guy come up. He looked just like a reincarnation. He didn't have the hair, but his face with a cap on like mine. He looked just like Elvis Presley. Yes, he did. He called me Santa Claus, but I called him. I said, look at Elvis Presley just come up. Now, let me tell you the gist of this story. He sat down at the table and had something in a cup that I had never seen anybody have. And the old guys sitting next to me or standing next to me, they told me that what they used to name it back in the old days, country. He had a cup of coffee in a cup, plastic cup, Bojangles, and took a biscuit and broke it up into pieces and put it in and soaked this biscuit in his coffee. That they got a name for it, I forgot what they call it. But I told the guy, I said, what is he doing? He said to me, you ain't never heard of that? Boy, ain't you country? Did you come for the country? I said, yeah, but I didn't see nobody do a biscuit that bad.
Street ain't country.
But I told him, I said, yeah, I was out there in Old Yakinville. That's where my people come from, in the country, across the Old Yakin River.
You didn't stay out there long enough to see.
Well, I stayed out there long enough to know some of the things that the old folks did that I didn't quite understand. And I said, what is he doing? He said, you don't know nothing about this. I said, oh, thing. Here's what he did before he drank the coffee. He had a spoon, and he stirred it up, stirred the bread up in the coffee, and he bowed his head. I told the guy next to me, I punched him there. I said, "Watch this." I followed him and waited. He said, "Lord, I thank you for this food. I blessed this food." And he was just a moment. He came on and blessed the food. And when he got through, now watch this now. I'm going to show you how you shock him. When he got through, he raised his head up, and I was leaning over like I'm leaning on her now. And after he blessed the food, I said, "You welcome."
They think you being sacrilegious.
I said, "You welcome." You know what he said to me? He said, "I ain't talking to you."
But see, those of us.
He said, "I ain't talking to you." I said, "Yes, you are." I said, "There's different cups, same juice." He was a Christian, highly degreed, highly summa cum laude Christian.
They don't know what you're talking
And when
about.
he got through blessing the food, I said, "The Christ in me is the same Christ." Do you know there are people who are Christian don't want you breathing the same eternal oxygen in your lung? They start coughing and choking and puking and carrying on. I don't want no Negro's breath inside of me. I say, well, the Christ in me is the same Christ in you, standing here looking at himself inside of each other. They didn't want to accept it. He finally quit talking. He almost turned blue too. No, he turned whiter than white. And I just looked at him and laughed and turned around and walked off.
That light shot through. He loves
But see, and he likes doing that to people. But again, that would not work to someone like us.
No, that won't work for me either.
Because we are enlightened. See,
I ain't
a
scared
lot
of
of
you.
times people don't understand that they're operating from a carnal mind, and so the carnal mind cannot understand the things of God, for they are spiritually discerned.
Yeah.
And that's why oftentimes when a lot of them are trying to preach, share, however you want to talk about, they're not speaking from a place of being spiritually minded. They're actually speaking from a place of being carnally minded.
Yeah.
And so now to all of them again, and I'm gonna make reference to political leaders. If they're following scripture, then Paul even says in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, he said, "I know you carnal minded because there is division, there is strife, there is malice among you, so you cannot be walking with a spiritual mind."
Right.
Which means we're not walking in the light.
Right. So now this is where, and I know this isn't what a favorite topic that we're on, of people who just want to hear about the romantic side of spirituality. This doesn't talk about everybody's walking in love and we should forgive everybody. And of course those things are true, but where the rubber meets the road, we live in a world where there is so much strife, and it's coming from the place where people's hearts are shut down, or closed up. And so it's important for those of us who are awoke, I'll say it like that, the woke culture, the ones that they say you shouldn't be in that woke culture. Those of us who are in the woke culture, it's important that we live from the heart, even though those who have cut their hearts off are probably not going to change. We must continue to see there is this, and I hesitate to say this because I know when we do, it's like I'm reflecting back and reverting back to my in the box days, my religious confined days, when I say there is a spiritual war going on. But there is a spiritual war going on between light and darkness. And it appears that darkness is winning, but it is not.
Let me tell you something.
It is not, because there is the power of darkness is not really a power, it's a force. I was looking at something today where they were showing that a rock in the world of energy is light imprisoned.
Oh, wow.
It's light imprisoned, meaning there's energy that's stuck and it can't move.
Wow.
It can't
Frozen
move.
energy.
Frozen energy, and that's why rock is solid. So like
What?
because it's stuck. Light
What?
is locked into it. So there's forces. They were trying to figure out way back when how
never heard of that.
magnets work, and they put certain things close to those
Ooh.
magnetized rocks, and it would either stick to it or repel it. And they began to wonder what was in between these two objects.
My God.
But there is invisible forces.
Ooh.
Hear me, there's invisible forces at work.
Yes.
In between all of us.
Wait. You said a rock. I never heard this before.
Yeah.
A rock is frozen energy?
Yes.
Yes.
It's light.
Now,
Imprisoned in
now
light imprisoned in
now we always taught part of that in
Ooh.
with dealing with matter.
Yes.
And so,
Yes.
because like we talk about it quite often on the broadcast, how energy is never lost; it just transforms.
And everything
That's it.
is energy. And so what we're experiencing, even in the physical, even in the political arena, even in between us as beings, in everything it's a force. There are forces that are not seen that are affecting humanity.
Mm-hmm.
They are nothing but energy, but they're there.
Yeah.
And it I won't say they are there, it is there.
Mm-hmm.
It is either pulling toward it or it's repelling. It's doing one or the other. It's attracting or repelling. And so here we are in the midst of it, and we're seeing this stuff, but we don't have a clue about what's happening, because we think everything that's happening has to be in the physical, that we can see it.
Mm-hmm.
But there is so much happening that we cannot see.
Mm-hmm.
And these forces, they actually, when I heard that about that rock, I said, my God, that's why that rock is static.
Mm-hmm.
But when you break it down, they said when you break it down, you break anything down, it comes to the point where you don't have anything left. There is nothing left.
Then gold.
In the fact of energy.
What is gold made out of?
If you break it all the way down to its actual components, down to the atoms and all of that, it ends up being nothing.
It talks about heaven having streaks of gold.
Nothing,
what is that?
Nothing but moving energy.
Mm-hmm.
Gold must be some kind of energy.
Moving energy.
Well, it actually is. Gold is actually used as a conductor.
Oh,
in a lot of different things. Yeah.
No, be down and call me Shorty.
Mm-hmm. But going back to something Tom said earlier about it looked like darkness may be winning, but that's not the case, because we have to understand, metaphorically speaking, light is more vivid when it's darker.
Woo-wee.
Yeah.
You don't see light.
Now this is the other thing that gets me, is that there's really no such thing as darkness. Mm-hmm. It's just a lesser degree of light.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that's a big degree less, ain't it?
A dimmer.
It's a lesser degree of light.
A dimmer.
It's like trying to fry an egg without grease.
So there is no way that darkness.
You can't. That's hard to fry an egg without grease. You got to have some grease in the pan to fry an egg or something. That's like saying that thing that we've been looking at called a rock is more than a rock.
It's more than a rock.
Oh, yes.
It's energy. It is energy.
Everything has energy. Everything.
Yes.
What?
Everything.
Well, what about these bodies are made out of light?
Think about it. If you just have your socks on and you rub your feet against the floor,
you
carpet, you're creating static energy.
Yes.
So
you take the socks off and you what?
And then they did an experiment where they took a balloon, I think it was, and rubbed it against that magnetized object, and then ran a wire down toward a styrofoam ball, and they touched the one end of the wire, and that energy traveled down that wire to that styrofoam ball and made that ball adhere to that wire. Now, so that means that's how electricity, when Benjamin Franklin came down that kite line,
Good gracious.
Energy flows across that, it'll flow across a line. So there is so many mysteries that we just don't have a clue.
Exactly.
We don't have a clue.
Exactly. And that's what people need to. There is so much that we have not been exposed to as of yet. Still a whole lot that has not been discovered.
Yeah. So that tells me that to think that any of us are experts is to be really inflated in your ego. To think that you know everything about God. I don't care if you read the Bible 50 million times. You don't know everything about God.
Nope.
So you trying to tell me that sickness is energy?
Yes.
Blocked.
Yes.
Blocked energy.
That was a lady down in Marion, South Carolina. We was down there one time. She, you said something, putting socks on. There was a woman we run across down there, saved, Holy Ghost field and all that. Didn't believe in wearing socks and shoes. She walked around, and when she put shoes on, her husband said the heels of her feet was as crusty as a rock. So I told her, I said, every once in a while, I said, when your feet get crusty like that on your heel, you got another shoe on. And so I told her, I said, every once in a while, I said, I take one of them grinding Dremel thing that you get at Walmart at Lowe's. I sit down and I take that Dremel thing and sand my heel off. Lord. And I said about them, I said, dust would be flying everywhere. You can't even see the television. And so I said something, she got one, but it was hard for her to make a change to scrub her heel. She didn't want to wear no shoes at her heel. It like she had another knot on the back of her feet, like a shoe. She couldn't wear shoes because of that crust done build up on her feet. So I told him, I said, you see me going down the highway and you see fire shooting out of my tires. I said, that ain't fire. I just took my shoes off and stuck my heel out the door and it's scraping the street.
Hey, you sound like you took this story. But he sound like he's talking about one of the episodes of Martin when Gina had to do a pedic or a foot for the lady called Myra, and they had to use one of those sanders to do it. And stuff was flying like that. All of the stuff was flying. Oh, that feels so good. That feels so.
I don't know where Dad takes us. He takes us every
yeah, crazy.
Hey, Dad, you got to go see that episode. I think it's so funny.
Listen, I've been on my soapbox tonight. I don't know if you got anything out of it or not, but it's okay. It's okay. But I enjoyed this conversation. Hey,
I did too. And John Greason was talking, and I had forgot about this show.
Skinwalker
on Ranch. But I can't remember what channel it comes on.
What is that? I don't even know what that is. Skinwalker.
It's about this ranch where they're having supernatural occurrences. They talk about UFOs, all these different things and stuff like that. They have all these encounters.
Yeah.
Stuff that's being discovered. Yeah.
They're now talking about UFOs. Now they're talking
about
now.
They released the files. They released the files that were in. Yeah.
So
yeah.
When you tell
people they got a new stuff coming, because I watched it, all of the old stuff. Now they got some new shows that's supposed to be coming up now. And I forgot all about it. Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's so many things happening right now in our world, but I want you guys to be encouraged. It may appear that darkness is winning, but darkness will never win, because there is no such thing as darkness. Go ahead, sweetheart.
Oh, shucks. It was something I had here. Okay. I saw something here about walking in darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling somebody, in the spirit world, you don't communicate with lip movement and tongue. And I see a scripture here back over in Proverbs. And it said, He winketh with his eye. He speaketh with his feet. He teacheth with his finger.
Mm.
When I was in the spirit world on the other side, we called it that, I had a chance to experience 3 dimensions in one place. Grace of the spirit self, God, decided to let me experience what it was like to walk 1,000-mile long road and never take a step.
Mm-hmm.
I saw myself walk up a swirling stairs like these electric poles out on the side of that expressway. I went all the way up like Jack did in the beanstalk. I went, as the story goes, I went up through the cloud. I didn't know I was being a skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
And I come out on the other side, and let me tell you something. I had come out on many times in that walking on that highway when my spirit body solid as a rock. When I hit the street, the place where I was to stand, there was a thud under my feet. It said boonk. And I didn't realize it for a long time that in the spirit world, spirit is solid. So I asked the question. When I asked the question, my question was not asking somebody like a person or being standing outside. The question was, how far is it from where I'm standing to the end of this road? And my spirit feet, the footsteps of the righteous ordered by the Lord, my feet started talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And when my feet start talking, I heard my whole spirit body say 1,000 miles. When it said it, it didn't say it with a mouth, it said with beingness.
Mm-hmm.
And when it said it, I was moved from where I was standing and never left the spot down to the end of that 1,000-mile long highway. And when I got to the end of it, I saw the pretty blue water of God's eternal kingdom glowing from the water over to the side. And I raised my spirit awareness feet up to step off into the water. And he said, my body said, my Christ said, the universe said, it's not time yet.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, Pastor Norman and y'all, my attention turned to my right, and I was inside of a flying machine. And they called it in the Old Testament days a Merkabah.
Mm-hmm.
I was inside of a flying machine that operated through the 9, 12, or 13 gifts of the Spirit in 1 Corinthians 12, somewhere in that area.
Wow.
The control mechanism was in my arms and legs, sitting in a chair that was controlled by the mystical side of the Christ self, the 9 gifts of Spirit. And in any direction I wanted to go, all I had to do was be like the 4-faced beings, what you call them, cherub angels.
Okay.
I could go in all directions, Pastor Norman, and y'all, I could go in all directions at the same time.
Yeah.
Then I finally I finally understood what it was. It was the UFO. It took me a long time to understand. Elijah riding that chariot in the Old Testament, the horse in the chariot, and Elisha, or some people call him Elisha, Elijah and Elisha, a horse and chariot appeared, and Elijah rode off in it.
Mm-hmm.
Metaphorically speaking, a spirit travel.
Well, when you talk about the Merkabah, and of course our time is up, but
That's the
when
mystery.
you talk about the Merkabah, it is the chariot that prophets riding in from dimension to dimension.
Mm-hmm. Enoch rode.
It's the chariot or the UFO that you talk about that takes the prophet from dimension to dimension.
I saw that. It took me years to understand, but now I see it. When the eyes are closed and cannot see the mystical side of your divine self, it's called darkness. When the eyes are open, it said the light of the body is the eye. The eye that you are as the light is the I am eternal Christ identity.
Well,
That's
if you go back to the servant of Elijah, when baby girl sneezing, when you go back to the servant of Elijah that kept saying that they that be against us is a whole army coming against us, and told him to go back out and look again. And he saw a larger army than
you know, Pastor Norman, y'all, my dog just come out of her cage and she did something that I never thought I'd ever hear a dog do and understand. She sneezed. She blowed her nose because of allergies. And you wouldn't think that a dog could sneeze. You wouldn't think that a dog could communicate. But it's been proven that they do have a form like an elephant and its little baby. It makes a sound. I found out that a baby elephant can make a sound to summon its mother that the human ear cannot hear. There are parts of us that we're talking about tonight in the mystical side of Christ that we have potential. We are the potential to act beyond our human self, and the world called it the devil, or they'll call it evil, or they call it ain't in the book. It ain't in the Bible that you can buy Van Camp pork and beans in the store, but you ain't.
Dad, you're a nut.
Lord have mercy. We're gonna go, guys.
But you buy them, and you don't buy them and lose them either. Unless you got a little air, I guess, or something like that. But
Dad is a nut. He's a nut. He's a nut.
But it ain't in the book, but you still go buy them. If it ain't in the Bible, quit going to the store.
We're gonna see them on the turnaround.
Oh, we're going Well, I'm trying to just make it easy for you to understand. It's just as easy as cutting a piece of pie.
Understand.
Talk to Mom about that cake, you know.
Oh no, I'll let her know tomorrow. I'll definitely call her tomorrow.
I appreciate all of y'all out there.
John used to say you need a little air.
I need a little air.
That's what he said. You need a little air.
That's what John Greaser said.
John Greaser said, yes, you need a little
I need some air. I got some air. I'm full of air.
Lordy. What we gonna do with him?
Hey. I love you. And I found out how to love people with the love of Jesus' heart. My monkey mind goes crazy.
Yes, it does.
But I found out in the true self.
Your monkey is drunk.
Really?
Drunken monkey.
It's a drunken monkey. Yeah.
Drunken monkey. Hey.
It's a drunk monkey.
I feel like
Stop. Stop. You keep going.
Okay, I quit.
You keep going. Look, we're not talking about anything productive right now. Yeah, John, catch you on the turnaround.
Hey, I'll turn around on John and I'll see you.
We'll be back on Sunday at 10. Pastor Norman's back.
We're going to see you on the turnaround.
Just look for us on
yes,
Facebook,
sir. Live and in color.
We're right there.
100%.
We're right there. We love you guys. See you on the turnaround.
Turn around, Brother John. I will preach on you, Brother John.